about exactly what is going on, so let's bring in Joel C. Rosenberg, the editor-in-chief at All Israel News, that is allisrael.com. He joins us now live to discuss this. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here.
Sure, thanks for covering the story.
Of course. So first off here, I just want to get your take on this as you are covering this. This is being referred to as historic. It's being called an unprecedented attack. Is that an accurate depiction of what's going on here?
Unfortunately, yes. I'm talking to you from Jerusalem, and I'm telling you that on Saturday, Israel experienced our own 9/11. Israel experienced our own Pearl Harbor. And I don't use those terms lightly. I lived in Washington, D.C. through...
Gaza, you're not necessarily close to Lebanon, but is that a concern for you?
No, it's a personal concern almost for everyone because the rockets arrived north of Tel Aviv. Today they arrived in Jerusalem. So I think most Israelis have been suffering directly from these happenings, and those who weren't impacted by the rockets were impacted by the people they know that are living in the south or fighting there. So it's a very personal concern. I think the upside of that is that the Middle East is not what it used to be in terms of attitudes towards Israel. We see even today, even yesterday, voices coming from the Arab world, from Muslim countries, who are against what Hamas did, who do not see that as a legitimate way for the Palestinians to conduct their national struggle. Even Palestinian voices are saying that. They do not necessarily or probably support what Israel is doing in return, but they are not advocating or defending what Hamas did. So the reality in the Middle East is different. Israel has more countries in the region with which it has either peace treaties or normalization agreements or some sort of engagement. This is likely to continue. Most of the Arab countries are not allies of Hamas. And after all this dust settles and think finally we'll get back to be quiet, I think those countries will continue to promote their national interests and seek how to benefit or develop their ties with Israel, hopefully also in a way that advances a two-state solution with the Palestinians.
Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack here. It's still a lot to kind of figure out over the next few days, few weeks as well. All right, Nimrod Goren, Senior Fellow there at the Middle East Institute. Thank you so much for providing, and of course, stay safe there during this ongoing conflict.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. All right, I'm Andy Mack here on Live Now from Fox, and of course, we thank the Middle East Institute discussing that very, very closely there. A live picture one more time, Gaza City, just about 10 to 15 local time. We have not seen a ton of movement, a ton of light in the sky, certainly settling down potentially a little bit. We did hear from the Israeli Prime Minister just a little bit ago as well. We're going to take our first 2-minute break of this hour. We do not expect to hear from President Biden for the rest of the day. So no comments from the president. Haven't heard a White House press briefing detailed as of yet. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. We also did hear from the former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, just their representative. He said in a statement today,
the very first trip internationally was to Israel. I spoke at the Knesset in honor of the 75th anniversary of the creation of their country. At this moment in time, I think about what I said inside their chambers. I said, our values are your values. Our heritage is your heritage. Our dreams are your dreams. America is grateful for our friendship with Israel. We are a better nation because of it, and we must never shy away from defending it. Now is the time for action. America needs a 5-point plan to meet this moment, to help our ally Israel, and to strengthen our own future. The very first thing we need to do is rescue the American hostages. President Biden's #1 priority right now must be finding out how many Americans have been taken hostage and get them home. From last night to this morning, the number of American deaths have doubled from 4 to 9. This administration must also make clear that harming any American will result in the wrath of the United States. We cannot repeat what happened to the Iron Dome in a bipartisan group of members from both sides of the aisle. When we talked to those soldiers and asked them what they feared, is to be overwhelmed. See, a battery of an Iron Dome would go up and knock out a missile. It would first calculate where that missile was going and go next to it and knock it out. But Iran was only producing 400,000 barrels of oil a day. Now it's 3 million. They're making billions of dollars. If you look at the foreign currency reserves, 3 years ago, Iran had 4 billion. Today, it's 70 billion. They are wealthier, richer, and stronger under this Biden administration, and they're using that wealth to fund terrorism, attacking our allies and killing Americans. Do we not realize that weakening America strengthens our enemies? Allowing Iran to produce more oil, appeasement, paying ransoms for American hostages has only made us weaker on the world stage. These 5 actions must be taken now. And to the president, turn off the barbecue and speak to the American people. Be the leader the world is looking for. Otherwise, the world will stay unsafe. With that, I'll take some questions. Yes.
Given this crisis overseas, there's been a lot of
plan hatched by the Ayatollah. They killed our soldiers in Iraq. The militias did. You have Iranian militias threatening American service members in Syria who are helping to keep ISIS from coming back. They have threatened an attack on our soldiers if we continue to help Israel. The Iranians have threatened Israel with an escalation, activating Hezbollah in the north, a 2-front war if Israel goes in on the ground. My response is the following. If you kill one American or hurt one American in Syria, the Iranian-backed militias were coming for you. If this war escalates and you try further to destroy the Jewish state, you're going to be out of the oil business. They have fixed targets that are easy to hit. Their entire economy is based on oil production. Knock them out of the oil business. Make them pay a heavy price. Without money, Hezbollah and Hamas, without money in Iran, Hezbollah and Hamas are very seriously hurt.
How long is it going to delay any potential aid?
And all of a sudden, all this pops. You know, what's the weekend like been in Israel? Just imagine. Remember how you felt I think most everybody's fairly old enough to remember how you felt. Remember how you were upset and heartbroken and angry.
And glued to CNN.
Yeah. The bottom Ukraine, the world gets safer, you are wrong. Almost everybody on the Republican side believes it was a disaster to withdraw from Afghanistan, that we turned it back over to the Taliban, and Al-Qaeda elements are now there planning to hit us. So if you think it was a disaster for Biden to pull out of Afghanistan,